Everyone, make sure you're on mute. All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. Happy Wednesday. Let's not turn it into a Monday. These are the rules. You are in a courtroom. Mia Divines, are you wearing a top? Okay, no, that's not going to go. You are in a courtroom. You are not dressed appropriately. So go get changed into a suitable top. If you were in the 187 District Courtroom, tube tops would not be allowed. And I personally thought those went out with the 80s, or at least the only people who wear those now are like teenagers. That's what I know. All right, so you need to change your outfit. All right, so 187 District Court and Mr. Villarreal, don't play with the equipment. You're in a courtroom, everyone. You must dress professionally. And I would think I don't have to tell everybody what that means, but let me just give you a few ideas. Do not get on here with tank tops, tube tops. For the guys, t-shirts that have no sleeves to them. Everyone who's on this Zoom should at least have something that has a sleeve on. There's to be no laying in bed. If you're at your work, then you need to talk to your employer, supervisor, and tell them you need to take a break. You need to find a place that's quiet and get in a place that's stationary and take a break. You are not allowed to lay in bed, do laundry, take care of your child's meals. Whatever you could not do if you were physically in the 187 District Court, you will not be able to do on this Zoom. If anyone does not behave properly as though they're physically in the 187 District Court, your Zoom privileges will be revoked. Your Wednesday will turn into a Monday because you will be required to appear in court. It doesn't matter if you're in New York, out of state, out of county, you will be required to appear in the 187 District Court today if you don't behave appropriately on the Zoom screen. To all the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be sent back. You are not allowed to use the internet. If you use the internet, you will be sent back. To all of those who are accused, your attorney's name will be called. Your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, do not panic. You're not hearing your attorney's name because they're probably Zooming in another courtroom, or they've had to appear in person in another courtroom. Trust me, your attorneys will appear. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I open breakout rooms, it's going to invite everyone to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all defendants or those accused, your attorney is probably going to want to speak with a prosecutor before they speak with you. So please do not raise your hand asking if you can go to a specific breakout room. To all the attorneys, if you see that your name is low on the list and you want to Zoom to another court, you're more than welcome to do so. However, if your name is called while you're Zooming in another court, you will be put at the end of the list. If you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small that plea bargain agreement is, you need to put it into the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator. Please do not call her, text her, email her, chat her, asking for a continuance. I'm the only person who can give that to you. Attorneys, when I call your name, this is the order in which you will appear. Albert Gutierrez, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Ben Stevenson, Cleophas Marshall, Eric Reynolds, Fernando Ramos, Flavio Hernandez, Jason Nitz, Linda Conley, Jeff Hull, Jenny Callahan, Leo Gonzalez, Nifo Carrillo. Is there any attorneys whose name I have not called? All right, attorneys, when I call your name, I need to know whether or not your client is family violence or criminal trial division. If you have the ability to change, add to your name the name of your client and whether or not they're criminal trial division or family violence, it will be greatly appreciated. If not, I will do that on my end. To all the attorneys, when I assign you to the breakout room, think of that as going to a doctor's visit. When you go to that breakout room, you're not seeing a doctor at first. They're just checking your weight and blood pressure. So everyone put some patience in your pocket and let's make this a Wednesday, not a Monday. Albert Gutierrez, thank you for changing the name of your person. I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
I'm just here for sentencing, Judge, by the way.
All right, have you received the PSI report?
Oh, no, I haven't. I'll go to the breakout room.
Yes, and Miss Fergus, Rebecca, if you could send him the PSI report, I'll send you to breakout room number 2. And Mr. Dotson, I'll send you to breakout room number 2 as well, so your attorney can go over the sentencing packet with you. Emmanuel Rodriguez.
Good morning, Judge. It's a family violence case. She's incarcerated. Would like to meet with the prosecutor. And we have a question for the court about the status of her bond. A little confusing when I was looking up the situation.
All right, we will take care of that. What is your client's name?
Adriana Ayala. Adriana Ayala.
All right, I will send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Ben Stevenson.
Good morning, Your Honor. My client is with me in my office. Would like to confer with David Martin. Would probably be the most appropriate one to start with. We have cases that are family and cases that are not.
All right, who's your client?
My client is Alexis Morganfield.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Cleophas Marshall.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you for changing your name. I'll send you to number 5. You say you're here for sentencing?
That is correct. I might need to speak with my client briefly, though, as well.
All right, have you received the packet?
I do not believe that I have. I'll check and see, though, but I don't.
All right, I will send you to number 5, and your client is Phillip Villarreal. Is he in custody or not?
You talked with him earlier, Judge, about playing with the.
Okay,
the
so
device.
number 5.
Number 5. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Eric Reynolds.
Judge, good morning. I've got Adam Cordova this morning. If I could confer with him actually first, he is in custody.
All right, I'll send you to number 6.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Cordova, if you'll go to breakout room number 6, please. Fernando Ramos, who do you have?
Charlie Perkins, Your Honor. It's an MTR bond hearing. If I could confer with my client. I don't see him on the board anywhere. He's in custody.
All right, let me see if he's here yet. He
Okay.
is not here yet. At least I don't see him on the screen yet. Just give us a moment. We'll find out what the ETA is on him.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, could you put in the chat box when you expect Charlie Perkins will be here? If you could send that to Mr. Ramos.
To 10 o'clock, Judge.
All right, 10 o'clock, Mr. Ramos.
Thank you, Judge.
So if you want to zoom out and zoom back in, you can, or if you want to hang out, you can as well.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Fernando Hernandez. I'm sorry, Flavio Hernandez.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, Judge.
Happy Wednesday.
Carrie Adams, criminal trial, NTR. She has retained Linda Corley. Linda is on screen.
All right, thank you
I'm
so
here,
much.
Judge.
All right, thank you, Flavio. I appreciate it. I miss our French interpreter.
Yes. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye, Judge.
Bye-bye. All right, Jason Nitz.
Yes, Judge, I'm here for Jesus Villarreal, but I wasn't sure. I didn't have him on my docket, so I don't know who I speak to about this.
All right, it is Criminal Trial Division and it's an MTR.
MTR, okay.
Yes, I'll send you to breakout room number 7.
All righty.
Linda Corley, thank you as always for changing all the names.
You're welcome, Judge. It's so easy to make you happy on that one. I love it.
Yeah. I'll send you to number 8.
Okay, and just, I don't know if any ADAs are listening, but I really need to talk to Marcus Sanders on these.
Oh, if you'll rename yourself and put Marcus or put Sanders requested.
Okay, I'll do it. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Jeff Hall, am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yes, Your Honor, that's perfect.
All right, thank you.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for changing your name. Good morning. I'm going to send you to
Absolutely.
breakout room number 9.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Denny Callahan.
Morning, Judge. I don't know how to change my name.
Oh, that's okay. I appreciate it though. It's the thought that counts. What's your client's name?
John Bueno, we have a plea agreement. Papers are still being signed. I need deferred adjudication, certificate of appeal, and Zoom consent from the court. And
All right, we will make sure you get that. Who's the prosecutor who's doing the paperwork?
Jason,
Okay,
It's me, Judge. The defendant has the paperwork right now.
all right. So I'll send you to breakout room number 10. Is your client on bond?
yes, ma'am. I think he's on Zoom too.
Let me see if I see him. Yes. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10. Before you go to 10, the court coordinator needs your client's email address if they don't already have it.
I'll chat it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Mr. Bueno, if you'll go to breakout room number 10, please. Leo Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor. As you see, I have
Thank you
just-
for changing your name.
You're
I'll send you to
welcome.
number 11.
Appreciate it.
Nifo Carrillo. Nifa Carrillo.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Who do you have?
I have Rudolph Gonzalez. It's on a violation report. And I don't know if he's online. I did send him the invitation. I did ask to approach the bench on this violation report.
Yes, let me see if he's on the screen. Just 1 second. Rudolph Gonzalez. Let me see. He's not in the courtroom and he's not on the screen. I give everyone till 10:30.
Okay, Your Honor, I'll find him.
All right, thank
I'll
you.
have him log on.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Cleophas Marshall, did you get the sentencing report?
I will check my email and see if I received that, if that's the way it's coming. And also, Mr. Villarreal, I got the wrong Mr. Villarreal in the breakout room.
All righty.
Mis-
There was no PSI ordered on that case.
It,
All
it
right,
was
thank
supposed to
you.
be a sentencing, straight sentencing. And
Okay, thank you.
okay.
All right. Villarreal, could you raise your hand, please, and unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, who's your attorney?
I have no idea, ma'am. I know it's Mr. Marshall for the sentencing one.
He says this is Phillip Villarreal.
That's my client, Judge. You sent me in with the Mr. Villarreal that's holding his hand up now with the white shirt.
Ah.
Yes.
See, I always try to ask people, all right, so do you still need to speak with your client, Mr. Marshall?
I do need to speak with him.
All right, so I'm going to send the other Villarreal to breakout room number 5. So Mr. Villarreal, 14F, you're going to number 5.
Thank you, Judge. And I'll go back over there. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. All right, and Divines, could you unmute, please, Mia?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. So you must dress appropriately for court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I apologize about that. I had all my clothes stolen, so I had to borrow a shirt real fast.
No problem. I understand that sometimes people have issues, but you got to dress appropriately. All right.
Most definitely.
All right. Thank you. Who's your attorney?
I don't. His last name. Give me 1 second. It's Mr. Darling, Mark Darling.
All right. So we'll wait for Mr. Darling. All right.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Vincent Callahan, you're back. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, signing the state's side of the paperwork. I've asked the coordinator and Lupe to send the court side of the paperwork to him and to me.
All right, thank you. Eric Reynolds.
Yes, Judge, if I could get in with Marcus whenever you get a chance, Judge.
All right, let me see where Marcus is. All right, Marcus, if possible, if you could go to breakout room number 1, please. Thank you. Jason Nitz.
Just can I talk with my client, Mr. Villarreal, L8?
Okay. All right, Mr. Villarreal, L8, if you'll go to breakout room number 7, please. Attorney Bustamante?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, who do you have?
Good morning. I'm not on the docket today. I spoke with the ADA, Family Violence ADA last week, but I forgot to come back into the room that we had agreed on a bond.
All right, who were you speaking with and what is your client's name?
I was speaking with JR, ADA. I apologize. I don't know his last name.
It's Garcia.
Garcia, ma'am.
I'm a older person, so when you say JR, I'm thinking of JR Ewing.
Oh, I do. I also know that person.
Okay.
And my client is Fabian Rocha.
If you have an agreed bond, then what you can do is you can email him, or either you can wait for him to come to the breakout room. But if you all have an agreement, do the agreed order, email him, include me in the email, and I will sign it.
Email him and then include
Let me
your.
see if he's in one of the breakout rooms. Just one second. Joe Ray Garcia. Okay, he's not on the Zoom screen yet. There was heavy traffic on 90, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
So if you are okay, you can wait for him to zoom in, or either you can email him and he'll probably answer the email.
I don't have his email, so I wouldn't mind waiting. I would just wait in the background if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine. And I'll
Thank
see
you,
if I
Judge.
can put his email in the chat box for you.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Jessica Johnson, you need to show your video. You need to remain on mute. Emmanuel Rodriguez, you're back.
Yes, Judge. Couple things is we still want to check on that bond. The issue was it looked like her bond company was trying to get back on her bond on the same day the court remanded without bond, and that day was February 22nd. And then the next week there was a surety to reinstate that was entered.
Yes. So what I have is, and I had the clerks to pull the docket. So there was an affidavit to surrender surety on February 11, 2021. And so that was signed. And then another one was issued on February 23rd, 2021. And let me see. I don't have one listed where they're asking to get back on her bond, according to this list. Oh, I'm sorry, strike that. On March 22nd, it was an affidavit of surety to reinstate bond. And on August 23rd, warrant was returned. I don't see where it was signed, and I sign everything that's given to me, you know, if I think it's appropriate, of course. But I don't have an affidavit to reinstate bond. If I received an affidavit to reinstate bond, I would have reinstated it, and I don't have that.
Okay.
Even
When
though
I look,
it's-
right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just because it was confusing to me because I saw an entry on the computer on March 2nd, 2021, that there was an affidavit of surety to reinstate.
Yes,
And
I
that-
see it listed here in August.
Oh. So I think maybe things were entered incorrectly.
Okay, well, that's not in my purview.
Right.
We shall find out. What I'm going to do, I'll send you to a breakout room with one of the clerks. And you were, yes, Mr.
Thank you, Judge. The good news is we're hoping to do a plea today.
Oh, well,
Yeah, exactly.
we're
But-
good then. There's
my
no need
client's
to
been-
go any further.
Yeah, my client's been asking me a lot of questions whether her surety company was lying to her. That's why I was inquiring.
Okay, well, I see it from August, but I don't have any documents myself showing that it was issued. So I don't know where that is. But I do want the clerks to check into that. To the clerks, there's an affidavit to reinstate surety signed on entered into the system on March 2nd, 2021. Can you see if that was signed? All right, they're gonna look to find out where
Thank
it
you so
is.
much. And
You're welcome.
David Martin extended a plea and I wanted to get the message to him that she's accepted it.
Okay, let me see where David Martin is. He's in breakout room number 4. I'll go to number 4 and let him know.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Cleophas Marshall.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Are you ready on Mr. Villarreal?
Yes, I think we had an issue that we need to discuss though on that case.
What is the issue?
Mr. Villarreal signed for 5 years TDC. And I guess he was originally scheduled for sentencing on another date. He was not there on that date.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's another issue that's in play now. I want to talk with Marcus Sanders about that possible.
All right, let me see where Marcus Sanders is. Marcus, could you go to breakout room number 6, please? And Mr. Marshall, if you go to 6. Anita Kell, who do you have?
I have Tristan, Michael Tristan, and Jordan Dial.
Is Michael Tristan Family Violence or Criminal Trial Division?
Criminal Trial Division, and I believe all that needs to happen is he was accepted to the pretrial diversion program, and he just needs to sign the application.
All right, just give me a moment. And Dial, what's Dial's full name?
Jordan Dial. I believe that's an MTR.
Is it Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
I think it's Criminal Trial Division.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to breakout room number 12.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, is there some confusion? My name is Jordan Diaz.
No, no one said your name.
All right, they said Jordan Dial. Is that like another?
Yeah, no, we're not there for you. Yes, Mr. Dial, I see you.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry.
No problem. But Mr. Diaz, one thing I will say,
Yes, ma'am.
those masks are not chin straps.
All right.
All right, Sonny Middleton, who do you have?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe I got notice we are here on a bond hearing on Rudy Schilling. I got notice, but I don't understand it. It looks like he was given a bond and he posted bond, but he's still in jail. And I'm not sure why.
All right, then we need to find out what's going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Because if he posted bond, then of course he should not be in custody.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
Unless something else happened. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 13. That's a lucky breakout room number.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Judge, can I see you in a breakout room really quick, please?
Yes, you can go to number 14.
Thank you.
Sure. And everyone, just give me a moment. All right, Linda Corley, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor. I was just about to chat to Ms. Ferguson on Carrie Adams.
Yes.
Judge, we have an agreement on the MTR, and I believe that Marcus is waiting to get some additional information. We're hoping he'll get it this morning. So if I can give you an update on the other case in a few minutes.
All right. Everyone, just give me one moment, please.
So Linda, do you want me to go ahead and send over the paperwork or just hold off on it? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
If you could go ahead and send it for Adams, it's going to be to continue and amend.
Okay.
All right, Albert Gutierrez, are you ready on Mr. Dotson?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, who is the prosecutor on Matthew Dotson?
That'll be Marcus or Tom.
Okay.
And it looks like they may both be tied up at the moment.
All right, I will put you up first, Mr. Gutierrez, as soon as they are back from a breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jeff Hall,
Yes, Your Honor.
yes. What is happening with your case?
I spoke with Mr. Morris and he agreed to, if the court is agreeable, he agreed to reduce my client's bond with a condition of weekly reporting, I believe, and a reduction to 3,000.
You all need to put that in the chat box.
Judge, I emailed the court and Ms. Norma and counsel.
All right, thank you. And as of course you know, because we're dealing with government entities, I still do not have ink for my printer. It has been going on, 2 months.
Have you submitted that request to Commissioner's Court?
Yeah, there you go. It's like, so every time I get an email, I have to send it to the clerks and would you please print this for me? So let me see where it is. All right, let me forward it to the clerks. I'm sending you a document. If you could please print it for me.
May I please?
All right. Just give me one moment, Mr. Stevenson.
Thank you.
Let me get this document. And also, Marcus, they're ready on Dotson.
Okay, Judge, I'm ready.
All right, let me just print this last paperwork on Bueno to the clerks. You should have some documents coming to you on Bueno.
Thank you, Judge.
And I'll send you to the breakout room where Mr. Bueno is located. And let me see where Bueno is. Oh, Robert, you're already there. Thank you. All right, so Mr. Hall, as soon as the clerks give me the paper, I will print that out and that will be signed. Do you need to speak with your client?
Judge, I don't see him on the screen.
Let me see. Norma, do you know the ETA on Mr. Rivera? Is your client in custody, Mr. Hall? I'm assuming he is.
I believe he still is. He was as of Monday when I spoke with him, but I believe he still is, Judge.
All right, just give me a moment. And did you have a chance to confer with the state on the facts of the underlying case?
We didn't reach that. It's pre-indictment and it was put on the docket, I believe, because of maybe a medical condition that my client has. And so we addressed the bond issue only, Judge.
Judge, he'll be here in about 3 minutes, Judge.
All right, your client will be here in 3 minutes. Do you want to speak to the case about the underlying facts of the case? I always say never put off for tomorrow what you can do today.
I'm happy to do it, Judge, if it's not an inconvenience to anyone.
I don't think it would be an inconvenience.
We did discuss it a little bit. I should say we did discuss the facts a little bit.
All right, if you'll go to number 9 and Hunter, just one moment, I'll send Hunter back to 9 when he's out of number 12.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, so on Dotson, Brenna, we'll see if this works. Brenna, it's the little things. I'm happy it actually works. All right, the court is going to call 2020 CR 10474B, State of Texas versus Matthew Dotson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Albert Gutierrez.
And are you Mr. Dotson? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding with sentencing by video. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dotson, we're proceeding with this sentence by video because of the pandemic. Do you have any objections?
No, ma'am.
And the court will note for the record that on August 5th, 2021, the defendant entered a plea of no contest to count 1. He's applied for deferred adjudication, and at that time, the defendant's plea was accepted by video because of the pandemic. All right. Everyone, just give me a moment because I have a page and everything is not on the page. I don't have the plea sheet. To the clerks, I do not have the plea agreement on Mr. Dotson. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Gutierrez, we're going to find the plea agreement because I don't have it. I do know he pled to count 1 and he entered a plea of no contest, and the court found there was sufficient evidence to find him guilty, a deferred finding of guilt. So just give us one moment. I think the clerks are going to have to print that out. All right, thank you. All right, we're back on the record. All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, the state proceeding on count 1 only, there's a $1,000 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state is recommending deferred adjudication, and there's to be restitution. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No.
Defense, any objections to the PSI report?
One objection, Your Honor, there's a misdemeanor listed in there. And my client says he was never arrested for that, even though it says it was rejected. But there is no record of that. My client says that is not his case. So we would object to that. But that would be the only objection.
Okay. State, you're recommending deferred adjudication?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Gutierrez, it appears from my review of the PSI report, your client is minimizing his guilt. Is that correct? Was there a misunderstanding?
Judge, the problem that I think arose there, I wasn't there for the interview, is that there are other allegations in that report. And I think that's where there was I don't want to say a standoff, but some concern on my client's part. Yeah, he pled no contest to the count one, the aggravated kidnapping, but there are some other, very serious allegations. And I think that's where they maybe went. There was just confusion there, Judge. That's the problem, with that report. So I think he was just concerned about other issues.
All right, anything else you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we'd like you to accept the plea bargain. I've explained to my client, it's actually it could be a severe plea bargain if he does not fly straight. So he understands that, and we would like him to be able to at least have an opportunity to move on with his life under the strict supervision of the court.
All right, Mr. Dotson, could you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. When's the last time you were employed?
In 2019.
And what were you doing?
I'm sorry, it was like 2020. It was January 2020.
Yes, what were you doing?
I was working at the airport for security.
When you say working as security, you mean wearing a uniform and carrying a gun?
No, ma'am. I was working for a company called Clear. It was a biometric company.
But what was your role?
Oh, I was a customer service rep. Really? Yeah. It was a first in line security. You can get it first in line to go through the checkpoint.
Oh.
It was, it's like pre-check, but a little better.
So how far did you go in school?
I graduated high school and I went to college for a year.
Doing what in college for a year?
I was just in and out, really. I was just doing my basics. I didn't know what I really wanted to do at the time. And then I just left.
All right. How many children do you have?
None, ma'am.
If you're released from custody, where are you going to live?
With my fiance.
Does she have any children?
No, ma'am, he doesn't.
Okay. All right. All right. So this is what the court is going to do. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to $1,000 fine. That'll be probated. 10 years deferred adjudication. Affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Restitution, if any, to Gabriel Patlan, Patlan, Adrian Sepulveda, no contact with Gabriel Patlan or Adrian Sepulveda. Proof of employment within 15 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. 150 hours of community service restitution. I'll waive 40 of those hours if you take the COVID vaccine. Here's the thing, I'm not requiring anyone to do it, not forcing anyone to do it, but if you do it or have done it and you present proof of that, 40 hours will be deducted. Are you able to report by Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
There'll be regular reporting by Zoom. If something happens and you're not able to report by Zoom, then you'll need to report in person. I'm going to want random field visits 2 times per month. When's the last time you used any drug before you got arrested?
Before I got arrested, on the 14th, I was smoking marijuana of November.
Have you used other drugs?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Well, I mean, they're saying on this report, it says at 19, you used cocaine. at
Well, yes.
23.
Yeah, well, yes, ma'am. The last time I used it was, yeah, when I was 23. I do apologize.
No problem. So when you're released, you shouldn't test positive for any drugs. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
We're going to do random UAs or patch. What are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
I plan on working, ma'am. I plan on getting my life back on track.
But what does that mean?
I plan on going back to school. Kind of want to do a little in and out with landscaping and start the little business I had with my aunt, with my friend's aunt, refurbishing furniture like we were.
Mhm.
She said it's going well. So she said I can come back and continue that.
All right, I'll waive the remaining community service hours if he obtains some higher level of education, or if he completes some sort of trade school and obtains his certificate. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Dotson, is there anything else you need from this court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Dotson, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Did you understand that because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Dotson, from here on out, every decision you make in your life, you need to ask yourself, is this something that can result in me going to prison for potentially the rest of my life? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You ever been in Bexar County Jail? I think you know it's not a great place to be.
Yes, ma'am. It sure ain't.
Yeah, and I can't order counseling for anyone, but really before anyone gets married, they really should be in counseling together. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But people will do what they do. The heart wants what it wants. And sometimes people ignore everything.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is
Judge,
what
has
I'm, yes.
Impact statement.
You do have an impact statement. All right.
Yes.
So Mr. Dotson, there's an impact statement. This is the thing. I require everyone in this courtroom to treat each other with respect. So what's going to be said to you, internalize it and make better decisions. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Sanders.
Thank you. This is a letter from the family of Adrian. Adrian grew up with a privileged life, not money privilege, but with a lot of love and support. His parents lived the American dream. They immigrated from Mexico, and through very hard work, they were able to buy their own house since 1959. Adrian grew up in the proverbial white picket fence house, the very same house where Adrian lived all his life and was kidnapped from twice. Adrian is the youngest of the family, so he was literally showered with attention and love by everyone. He was also privileged to not be subjected to the stern discipline that all his older brothers were subjected to when growing up. There wasn't anything he wanted that his parents didn't provide for him, but early on, something was different in Adrian's behavior. Adrian is a very smart and intelligent person, but he struggled with impulse control and lack of interest. He was only motivated to do things he liked to do. So his parents struggled to keep him aligned and motivated to stay in school. He was able to graduate from high school, but was unable to finish college. In spite of that, he was able to land a very good job and very well-paying jobs throughout his lifetime. To the surprise and dismay of all of us, very frequently, he would end up dropping the jobs after once again another impulse or irrational decision. But because of his charm and charisma, he was able to get those jobs back. Later, we learned that Adrian had been going through life with undiagnosed bipolar disorder. That explained his mood changes, odd behavior, and desire to self-medicate through drugs, all kinds of drugs. All this behavior took Adrian to a path so different than the rest of the family. We pulled apart as his wild behavior and dangerous risk-taking decisions started spilling over all of us as a family. But Adrian always had a place in our hearts. We practiced through love, but at the same time offered him shelter and food as long as he was clean. In the recent years, with the help and support of good friends, Adrian worked diligently on his recovery and he was able to sustain longer sobriety periods. Our hope grew while we watched him continue working to return to the life his parents worked so hard to give him, until he ran into you. We don't know anything about you. All we know is what you did to Adrian, based on his account of his first assault. What made you decide to take another human being and hurt him in that way? If you believed he had done you wrong, why not trust the justice system? When you decided to become a vigilante and take revenge for something you think someone did, is something we will never comprehend. Adrian was no saint, but he didn't deserve what happened to him. Our family has been diligently watching every hearing. Nothing of this sort has ever happened to us. We don't fully understand what's happening right now, but all we know is that you are getting the benefit of our justice system. The people of San Antonio are giving you the benefit of the doubt. The beauty of the justice system is at play. Adrian wasn't given this privilege. You became a prosecutor, a judge, the jury, and the executioner. We can't even try to wrap our minds at the second kidnapping, where Adrian was taken once again from his family home by you, beaten, driven around in the middle of the night. No one has heard nor seen him for the last 13 excruciating, heart-wrenching, anxiety-laden months. We wish that on that faithless night, Adrian would have had the benefit of an excellent counsel like you have, to advocate for him, to defend him, and justify whatever crime you thought he committed against you. But Adrian is not alone. He has people fighting for him, fighting really hard for justice. People who have never met him, but have worked so diligently to bring justice for him, like Detective Pena and ADA, Tom Nisbet, and many others working in the background. And believe it or not, these people are also fighting for you. By making sure you pay the consequences of your actions, it is putting you ever so slightly into a better path than the one you were headed for before. You also get the privilege to be heard by this fair, compassionate judge, Stephanie Boyd, that always takes the time to ask all defendants before sentencing, what else do you need for me to help you be successful? You'll get that benefit. Adrian didn't. But here we are now. We don't know what's next. We will accept and fully trust whatever judgment comes from this. Go on and live your life, while we as a family will continue serving our sentence, a sentence we cannot bail out of, the one you imposed on Adrian and in all of us. We will continue living our lives while filling the void that Adrian's absence left in all of us. That's all.
All right, thank you. Mr. Dodson, I'm going to send you and your attorney to breakout room number 1. Mr. Gutierrez, I'm going to need you to stay in there till probation comes. I have another case that probation needs to hear so she can have the conditions, and then she will join you, and then you can either remain or leave. All right, I'm sending you to number 1. And we are ready to proceed. Who are the attorneys on John Henry Bueno?
Jason for the state, Your Honor.
Jenny Callahan, defense, ready.
All right, Mr. Bueno, I need you to unmute for me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 8206, State of Texas versus John Henry Bueno. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Jason Jorgens for the state.
For the defense?
Jenny Callahan.
Are you Mr. Bueno?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bueno, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, Mr. Bueno, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Bueno, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bueno, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with as online solicitation of a minor with intention to have sexual contact. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
You believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bueno, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Mr. Bueno, are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense. All right, state, I asked if you were proceeding on the indictment as presented.
Judge, we are proceeding on the indictment. As a part of the plea agreement, we're asking the court to find the defendant or to find the evidence sufficient for attempted online solicitation of minor.
All right, so you're proceeding on the lesser included offense.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Bueno, did you understand that the state was going to be proceeding on the lesser included offense of attempted online solicitation of a minor? Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand then that that's a third-degree felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
And again, did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication on that offense, if for any reason you were revoked, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
And knowing that, do you still wish to proceed with this plea? That's either yes or no, Mr. Bueno.
It's just difficult for me to
Here's the
decide.
thing, Mr. Bueno. You can either do this plea or you can go to a jury trial. So my question to you is, do you understand the range of punishment for attempted online solicitation?
Yes, Your Honor.
And knowing that, do you still wish to continue with this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of attempted online solicitation of a minor with the intent to meet for sexual contact. There's a $1,000 fine. The state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Bueno?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bueno, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counselor, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for 3 years. There be 120 hours of community service restitution, the AIDS awareness course, no use of social media to contact children under 18. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. The state offers State Exhibit number 1, the defendant's waivers and stipulation of evidence. At this time, we do also offer the 3914 compliance form.
Okay. Any objections?
No objection.
Mr. Bueno, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call them the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. How the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
He has some remorse that he went too far. We ask you to follow the plea bargain agreement.
All right, Ms. Bueno, are you employed?
No, ma'am.
How are you supporting yourself?
I get disability,
Disability for what? What's your disability?
bipolar disorder with long bouts of depression.
Mhm. So do you live with anyone?
Not now.
Are you seeing a doctor?
Yes, or a nurse practitioner currently, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication, $1,000 fine probated, 120 hours of community service restitution. The court will waive 40 of those hours if you provide proof that you've taken the COVID vaccine. Again, for the record, I'm not forcing anyone to get the vaccine, but if you do get the vaccine, 40 hours from your community service will be deducted. The AIDS awareness course. No use of social media. To contact children under 18. No unsupervised contact with minors. Proof of disability. within 30 days or employment. And there's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if you can't report by Zoom, you need to report in person. Random field visits, one time per month. Random UAs, and evaluation for Mick. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, Judge.
Mr. Bueno, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Not that I can think of right now, Your Honor.
All right, if something comes up, let probation know. Mr. Bueno, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you understand that? And did you review it with your attorney and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Bueno, from here on out, every decision that you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could result in me potentially going to prison for 10 years? You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the only thing, other advice I can give you, if somebody is underage, you're not supposed to be communicating with them in that way. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Children already have enough going on in their life. Every adult should be trying to make children do the right thing. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over conditions with you. Mr. Callahan, you can go to number 1, or either you can be excused.
I'm excused. Good to see you. Bye-bye, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. And Rebecca, you can go to number 1.
Judge, can you make me a co-host, please?
Oh, I'm so sorry. There you are.
Thank you.
All right, who are the parties on Carrie Adams?
Linda Corley for defense, Judge.
All right, who is the prosecutor for
Marcus.
this? All right, and Mr. Jason Jorgens, if you don't have anything else with this, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Right now, I don't know why I took us out of that. We shall see what will happen. Mr.
Thank you,
Bueno,
ma'am.
you need to go to breakout room number 1.
I don't know how to do that, ma'am.
Are you on Android?
No, on an iPhone.
Just tap the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see something that pops up on the left-hand side, top left?
Yes.
Hit that join break room.
And which breakout room?
You're going to number 1.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I make an announcement?
I'm in the middle of a hearing.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. I'm late for another court. I'll wait.
Yes, thank you. The court is calling 2018 CR 9358, State of Texas versus Kerry Douglas. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Linda Corley.
And are you Kerry Douglas Adams?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections.
Mr. Adams, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Adams, I'm going to show you 2 documents. One is entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. The other is First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Kerry Douglas Adams III who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2018 CR 9358 for the offense of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 1 gram to 4 grams on November 21st, 2019 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
From the first amended motion filed August 2nd, 2021, condition number 1, on or about the 28th day of July, 2021, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Kerry Douglas Adams III, committed the offense of failure to ID, fugitive, intentionally give false information in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the rest.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, did you understand by pleading true the violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge, and it's in line with probation's recommendation. We're asking that you deny the motion, continue him, but alternate amend to order MRT with Bexar County re-entry.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Adams, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Why are you not being successful on probation?
Your Honor, I made a bad decision because at the time my dad was dealing with health conditions and I was the only person available and around to take care of him. I was his caregiver for a year, going on 2 years, until he had currently deceased, till he had passed away. And I just made a bad decision not to report. And I'm asking if I can turn that around to make a better decision this time and do everything I can to do better.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
So, I mean, all it would have taken from you, we would not even be at this place. All you had to do was pick up the phone and call probation and tell them what's going on. All it was a matter of was picking up the phone. Probation, this is what's going on in my life. Is there any way we can work around this? And if probation would have said, absolutely not, we're not going to take that in consideration, which I know that wouldn't have been the case because I know the probation officer who's in this court, then the next step would have been calling an attorney or either calling the court saying, excuse me, I need to be seen by the judge. Here's my attorney. And then you would have came to me and you would have said, Judge, this is what's going on in my life right now. I'm in a bad spot. My father I'm his caretaker. He's on hospice care. And then I probably talk to your attorney and said, hey, is this true? Is this what's going on? And your attorney would have said yes. And you know what? The state would have been understanding of that. But you can't disappear when you're on probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Disappearing on probation, guess what's going to end up happening? The problem's still there. It's like when people owe you money. Have you ever had somebody owe you money?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's the worst thing when people owe you money? They duck and dodge you. They don't pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I know I said I was going to pay you on Wednesday, but I lost my job and I had to pay my rent. And if I didn't pay my rent, they're going to kick me out. People would understand that. But people don't like when you duck and dodge them. And you were ducking and dodging probation. If you duck and dodge probation again and don't communicate, this may end up turning out very differently. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you employed?
Yes, right now I'm at my job right now doing some flooring in a house, repairing the floor and putting a hardwood floor down.
Oh, what kind of hardwood floor are you putting down?
Honestly, I don't know what it's called, but it's hardwood.
Is that easy to do? Is that something that I could DIY myself?
No, it's not easy. It takes time.
Okay, he's saying that because he wants me to pay for somebody to put flooring down. Okay, all right, this is what I'm going to do, Mr. Adams. I'm going to follow your agreement. Alternate main conditions to include MRT. And what is this Bexar County reentry? What is that about? Does anyone know?
I'm not sure, Judge.
I know what it is. The last time I was incarcerated, I was in that class, the reentry class. It just basically like, well, what we was doing while I was in there, we was just like going over like events in our life, like basically like cause and effect, like what caused me to, like basically what caused me to be on incarcerated and what I can do better at it. And it's just different steps that you go through, and you get certificates after you finish each. When you get to the third level, you get a certificate for each third level you complete.
Mhm. Okay, well, I see you're learning some things. I appreciate that. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Adams. Linda, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go to breakout room. Oh, Brenda, we can go off the record. I need you to go to breakout room number 1 because we only have one probation officer and she's gonna want to know what happened with this. So if you could let her know that he pled true to number 1, denied, alternate amend to include MRT and Bear County reentry.
Okay.
Oh, and let her know, and let her know that on this one, that he can have 40 hours deducted from community service if he takes the COVID shot. And Mr. Adams, I'm not requiring anyone to do the COVID vaccine or anything of that nature. However, if you take the COVID vaccine, 40 hours will be deducted from your community service hours. And if you've already taken it, if you just show probation proof, I'm allowing people to deduct 40 hours from the community service.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I'll send you both to breakout room number 1. And then after that, you can leave and make sure you put those floors down well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
I'll be back, Judge, because I still have Irene Gonzalez.
All right, thank you. Denny Callahan, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor, I have a MTR on Amado Flores, or your some kind of checking on his probation. He was issued a summons.
Yes. Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial.
All right, I'll send you to a breakout room. Usually the summons is issued because maybe they just owe money and we need to figure out when is that going to start paying on that. So I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, Ben Stevenson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've conferred with Meredith and also with David Martin. We are continuing to get in new discovery on 2 of the cases. And at this point, we need to remain on trial track for Alexis Morganfield.
Well, I mean, you can't be on trial track if you all don't have all the discovery.
Right. I mean, at this point, it looks like we're continuing to aim in that general direction. If the court would set us for another pretrial, I think that would be appropriate because discovery is still coming in.
All right, Norma, can you recall Mr. Morganfield for 30 days for discovery, please? And Marcus, I got your chat. I will be there shortly.
Your Honor, I had one other question regarding Mr. Morganfield.
Yes.
A couple of months ago, based on motions that were filed, we were able to convert him from full house arrest to partial house arrest. He came into some difficulties because he is a aspiring musical performer, and because our pretrial services partial house arrest program is more designed for people who go to one location and punch a clock. And we had a hearing on either converting him to tracking only or removing GPS, and that was denied. Did not have an explanation. Is the court open to reconsidering if we would file another motion? Or do you have any guidance for us on this?
Yes, I mean, I'm always will reconsider if there's something new that's presented to the court, but I know the issue with your client is your client says that he's an influencer and he's all over the place. And if he's all over the place, then we don't know what's going on with him.
I
understand. And based upon the charges, which I don't take any of these charges as true because I don't have, no evidence has been presented to me. Other than what was presented during the hearing.
Right.
And the concern is him and the ages that he is around.
I do understand.
Thank you. Norm, could I have a 30-day reset, please?
Yes, ma'am. October 13th, I was just waiting for you guys to finish talking. Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, October 13th for discovery. You and your client are excused.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is Sunny.
Just one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Ken Baker. Kenneth Baker.
Yes, Judge. Good morning. Can I
Yes.
just go right to my client? I don't need to speak to the state. I just have to see if we're going forward with that plea today.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank
And
you,
Mr.
Judge.
Gonzalez, I'm going to send you to number 2. Abel Dominguez, who do you have?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here on April Sanchez. This is a case we have been coming back on. It was an MTR that was already pled out and taken care of.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room.
Well, no, Judge. The issue is, Judge, that
Well, I mean, I'm sending you to a breakout room so you guys can discover what you're going to do because obviously she's still in custody.
yes.
So that's why I'm sending you to a breakout room.
Okay.
So I'm sending you to breakout room number 5.
Okay,
Did
Judge.
Rebecca come too?
Yes. Just give Rebecca a moment. Nobody leave until Rebecca comes back from breakout room number 1. And Marcus, you wanted to see me in a breakout room with Cleophas? Everyone just give me a moment, put some patience in your pocket. I'll be right back.
Judge, I got the wrong Gonzalez showed up in room 2. Mr. Gomez,
I'll
can you
get
go to room?
up. Hold on. Which one is yours?
He's in 16A, Gomez Gonzalez.
16A? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
And Norma, this is Eric Reynolds. Can I get back into a breakout room with Adam Cordova?
Yes.
All right. I'll send you to breakout room number 8. Mr. Cordova, if you could go to breakout room number 8. Mr. Reynolds, if you'll go to 8. And Marcus Sanders. On the new agreement with Mr. Marshall, is there any way to do just the last plea page and put in there the 7 years to have him sign that?
Yes, Judge.
All right.
Well, I'll have to do all of the paperwork, but I'll leave the first page as blank.
All right, thank you. And so that's the only thing I'll need so we can do it as an addendum. All right, Anita Kell. And then I'll take up Leo, and then I'll do Fernando, and then I'll do Nifa.
Thanks, Judge.
Michael Tristan, he just needs to come into my office because he's having a hard time signing the contract on his phone. So the pretrial diversion contract.
When is he coming into your office? Because we've been set on pretrial since May 18th.
I understand. He said he would come in today or tomorrow, so.
No. Mr. Tristan, where are you?
I'm right here.
Yes.
I don't know
Why
why
are you
it's
having trouble
going.
signing the contract online?
I'm sorry?
You need to show your video.
I'm trying to. It's okay.
Mr. Tristan?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we were here on May 18th. For pretrial diversion. Then we were here on
Right.
June 30th for pretrial diversion. Then we were here on August 4th for pretrial diversion. And now we're here on September 8th for pretrial diversion, and you have not signed anything.
We Judge, in my client's defense, we just got the contract maybe a week ago or so. Before then, all the other resets where we hadn't been accepted yet, but I'm not sure why he hasn't been.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Tristan, can you recall this for tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Tristan, you need to have that signed by tomorrow. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we will see you then tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Leo Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor, we have a plea agreement. We're working on getting the paperwork done.
All right, thank you. Fernando Ramos.
We're ready, Your Honor.
All right, do you all have an agreement or no?
No, Judge, we have a bond hearing. I have a witness.
All right, just give me one moment.
Yes,
Eric
ma'am.
Reynolds. Eric Reynolds. I think he's frozen in time. Mr. Hall.
Yes, Your Honor. I conferred with Mr. Morris on Omar Rivera, and the complainant in this case is a public servant, and I believe Mr. Morris just is attempting to contact him before making an offer. If there's any way the court would allow us to do a short reset in hopes that that happens.
Okay. All right, Norma, on Omar Rivera, they're thinking that it may work out. Can you give them a short reset? Is 3 weeks enough time, Mr. Hall?
I believe so. I think Mr. Morris was even suggesting a week or two, but whatever the court and Mr. Morris think.
All right, Hunter, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
2 weeks is fine, Judge.
All right, Norma, could you give me a 2-week reset on Omar Rivera?
The 22nd, you want to bring it back on the, oh, yes, September 22nd, is that enough time? Hunter,
Which date?
the 22nd?
That should be fine.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hall, you're excused, and so is your client.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, David Woodard, who do you have?
Hey, Judge, I had Christopher White. Can you put me and him in a breakout room? I've conferred with Meredith, but I need to talk to my client. I was in room 15.
Is your client on bond or in custody?
No, he's on bond.
All right, Mr. White, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 15.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Hall, you're excused unless you need to remain.
Judge, is there any way I could briefly just explain to my client what occurred?
Yes,
Okay.
let me find you in a breakout room. You're in breakout room number, I'll move you to number 10.
Yes, Judge.
And is your client on bond?
He is in custody, Rivera 16E.
All right, Mr. Rivera, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9. After you finish speaking with him, if you could have him come back to the main room, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Eric Reynolds.
Yes, Judge, Adam Cordova never came over to the breakout room.
All right, Mr. Cordova, you need to go to the breakout room. Do you see at the bottom of your screen where it says breakout room?
No, ma'am. It's not saying join a breakout room.
All right, I'm going to send you, let me know if it pops up. I'll send you to number 11.
I see you'll get, I had a friend, she got 2 years for that.
Do you see at the bottom where it says chat?
Yes, ma'am. I do see that.
All right, do you see 4 little boxes?
Yes, ma'am.
Click on those boxes.
Okay.
All right, just go to that breakout room. All right, he will meet you there now, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you,
Sonny
Judge.
Middleton, you're welcome.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I think we've probably figured out our problem with Mr. Rudy Schilling. He, on his 4-day bond hearing, they reduced his bond to $1,000 on each case. He paid it, and the website says he bonded out, but he's still in jail because, come to find out, he has a parole hold.
Yes.
So what we're asking, I don't know how we need to do this, is to rescind his bond or whatever, because now he's not getting credit for the time he's sitting in there.
Okay, where is his case going?
It's still not indicted. So
But I mean, is this going to jury trial? Do you have all the discovery on it?
I have the discovery. And so I need to speak with Mr. Schilling because I was appointed on the 1st. I made a visit on the 2nd. They didn't bring him, and I assumed it's because he bonded out because that's what his stuff says.
All right,
And so I
Mr.
did have a
Schilling,
meeting with him at noon today.
he's on the screen right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Schilling, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6,
Thank you, Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
and your attorney will meet you in breakout room number 6. Mark Darling, who do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda Pequeño,
How do you spell the last name?
Pequueno. Actually, I see her on there.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal Trial Division.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Marcus and Cleophas, you're working on that document.
And Judge, we're ready to go forward on, well, I mean, we got a deal on Jesus Villarreal. And I don't know if I need paperwork from them or we should just go forward.
Did you put in the chat box? To Mr. Thank
Mr.
you.
Nisbet, it's on its way.
Oh, thank you.
And Judge, we're ready on Jordan Dial too, but I think I need a Zoom paperwork from Norma.
All right, so everyone, if you have a plea, you need to put it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson, and she will get you all the paperwork that you need. And then Robert Guyona.
Yes, Judge, I need to speak to prosecutor on Christian Reina with Mike Zamora if he's around. He's got the other cases.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's criminal. Well, it's kind of both, but we've been talking to the criminal trial division.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room. Number 10 is available.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nifa Carrillo.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I've been in contact with my client all morning. For some reason, I don't see him that he logged on. I'm getting him the ID. I don't know what problem he's having. So logging on. So I would request the court to consider to recall it for tomorrow morning, and I'll ask him to come in person so we can address the issue.
All right, Norma, can you recall Mr. Rudolph Gonzalez for tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see him tomorrow in person.
I'll be in there too, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Is it you too, Your Honor? Is it at 9 o'clock, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
And everyone, just give me a moment. Jeff Hall, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor. For some reason, my client was not in that room. I'm not sure if, and I don't see him in the main room either now.
I don't know where he went. He's in number 9. Let me move you to 9.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge, I send you a chat.
Okay, just give me one moment.
And that's on page 22, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, who are the parties on Dow?
Judge, I am.
All right, who's the prosecutor?
Um,
I was speaking with her, Judge.
All right.
Last we spoke, we talked about a withdrawal, so I'm not sure which allegation are you pleading to?
failure to report, I think.
Okay.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 9273, State of Texas versus Jordan Dow. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Anita calling on behalf of Mr. Dial.
And are you Mr. Dow?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None from the state, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Judge.
Mr. Dow, do you have any objections to this hearing taking place by video?
Ma'am, I do not.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Are you the same Jordan Dow who was placed on deferred adjudication?
This is the waiting room.
Yes, ma'am.
And cause number 2020 CR 9273 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 less than 1 gram, on February 5th, 2021 for a period of 2 years. Is that you?
Ma'am.
Unmute.
Judge, can I have a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Just give us a moment. Oh, no problem. All right, everyone, just give us a break, please. We will take a 5-minute break.
It's Anita.
Yes.
Does this have something to do with us or something
No,
else?
no, 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 no,
Okay, you just had me scared there for a second.
no.
All right, everyone, we're back on the record. All right, where we left off, the court asked the defendant if he had reviewed the document with his attorney. He stated yes. And I asked him if he were the same person who was placed on deferred adjudication, and he said yes. State.
In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Jordan Mahon Deal, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April and May 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
You say April and May? Yes. How do you plead to that? True or not true, Mr. Dow?
True, Your Honor.
State.
They would waive and abandon the remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Judge.
Mr. Dow, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. In line with probation's recommendation, we'd ask the court to deny and continue, but amend the conditions to include a TAP evaluation, following of the recommendations in that TAP evaluation, and the MRT program.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Dowell, you're asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, Mr. Dowell, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Dowell, why are you not, you can lower your hand. Why are you not reporting?
Kind of in line with the other guy. I had the
But
mother.
no, don't do kind of in line with the other guy. This is about you.
Anything else, Judge?
Why are you not reporting?
I had 2 deaths in my family. Kind of, one was very, very close to me. And I didn't take and blow it off. It's just, I kind of lost my way there for a second. I have been getting things back under control. In lieu of not reporting, I have started a successful business, and me
Wait,
and
no,
my
there's no
fiance
in
was
lieu of
there.
not, wait a minute, let me stop it right there. There is no in lieu of not reporting. I didn't report, but guess what? I haven't picked up any new offenses and I've been starting a business. That doesn't take the place of reporting.
No, ma'am, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. I stand here and I do apologize
So
gratefully.
what is up with the drug use?
It has been limited and now it is non-existent.
No, I didn't understand what you said.
I've gotten clean since. And
All right, what were you using?
I was on methamphetamines.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include the MRT. I'm going to start you. Let me see if it's been done before. Okay, why are you not in lifetime?
I completed the program, ma'am.
All right, we're going to refer him to felony drug court. We'll do the TAP evaluation. Let me see if Rebecca's in this breakout room. Rebecca, how long is it taking for TAP evaluations while in custody?
I'm not sure on the weight on that, Judge.
All right, we're going to do a TAP evaluation while in custody. And Rebecca, if they're unable to complete the TAP evaluation by Monday, then he can be released. And if it's not done, he is to do the UA hotline. And if he misses any of those hotline appointments, then file a motion. And I'm going to want him to do weekly Zoom reporting until further notice. And Mr. Dow, I'm not forcing anyone to take the vaccine, but if you do take the vaccine, the court will deduct 40 hours from your community supervision. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I've already been vaccinated through Lifetime.
Well, you need to provide proof of that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And if you continue on the path that you're going on, one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to end up going to prison, or either you may end up dying from a drug overdose. It's as simple as that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, and I have taken this time to achieve sobriety. So I do appreciate that much from the court.
All right, here's the thing. Everybody says that when they're in custody because it's easy to be sober while you're in custody, but the minute they get out, the first thing they want to do is use. So I'm letting you know that one or two things are going to end up happening if you continue to use. Either you're going to end up in a prison, or either you may end up dead, because people who are making those drugs, they're not approved by the FDA. You understand?
Sorry, I do.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over conditions with you.
Yes, ma'am.
And let me see, where are you? There you are. Ms. Kell, you can go to number 1, or either you can be excused.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff Hall, you finished speaking with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I updated my client on the status of his case, and I believe he has returned to the main session.
All right, Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Rivera 16E can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And may I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And I received some paperwork on Ayala. So Ayala, I will send you to a breakout room. Let me find you. I do not see her anywhere on the screen. Who's the attorney for, I see you waving your hand, but I just don't see you in a breakout room. Can you unmute? What breakout room are you in, Miss Ayala?
Judge, you in a breakout room really quick?
Yes. I'll meet you in breakout room number 3. And Ms. Ayala, if you'll go to breakout room number 7, the clerks will swear you in.
Okay, number 7. Thank you.
Yes. And to the clerks, if you could go to number 7 to swear her in, please. And everyone, just give me a moment.
Hunter, if you're here, can you bring me back into your breakout room? This is Sunny.
All right, anyone else ready?
We're ready, Honor.
Ready on Mr. Villarreal, Your Honor? The plea?
Yes, has he signed all the paperwork?
Yes, he has. It should be, well, it should be going back to you all. He just recently finished it, so it's probably already returned to the court.
All right, let me see if I have it.
Your Honor, this is Sunny. If Hunter's not the ADA, could I have a room with him, please?
Just give me a moment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
No problem.
Honey, I'll help you in just a second.
All right, Mr. Marshall, as soon as I have that, we'll go on that. Mark Darling on Pequeno.
Yes, Your Honor. I've spoken with Meredith and my client, and we've reached an agreement for, she's applying for deferred today.
All right, thank you. If you put that agreement in the box, we'll take care of it today.
Thank you.
And make sure that Ms. Ferguson gets that. Eric Reynolds.
Yes, Judge. I've got Adam Cordova. Judge, he is the defendant we reset from last week to this week so that he could contact his family to try to speak about the offer. His mother is the one that is recently deceased. Unfortunately, he has not been able to contact his family yet. And he's requesting some more time to do so.
No, we've been waiting to do this MTR since December 8th.
But he's got a pending aggravated robbery, Judge. Was kind of the
but this has been
overarching matter here.
I understand, but this aggravated robbery has been going on since December 8th, 2020.
Here's an outside the box suggestion. Why don't you give the family the Zoom link and get them in here and stick them in a breakout room?
I like that. I like thinking outside the box. Sometimes you got to think in a circle.
Good job, Tom. I like it.
Is that a real good job, Eric?
Yeah. So I tell you what, would you like to come back at 2 with his family?
Judge, I've got appointments all afternoon already with clients.
All right, we'll recall it tomorrow then.
That sounds good, Judge. Can I get back in a room with him one more time and then be excused from there?
Just one moment. Ms. Ferguson, are we able to have Cordova come back tomorrow, or is the docket too jam-packed?
No, we can have it come back tomorrow, Judge. I'll make it work.
Right. We're going to have him come back tomorrow. I'll send you to a breakout room with your client, get all the information.
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. And when you are finished speaking with your client, have him come back to the main room. I'll send you all to breakout room number 12. All right, and are we ready on Villarreal?
Jesus?
If the court is ready, we're ready.
Yes.
You talking about the other Villarreal, Your Honor?
I'm talking about Phillip Villarreal.
If the court is ready, then we are ready.
Yes, we are ready. I've received the paperwork.
Very good. We're ready.
Who is the Marcus, I believe?
Marcus Sanders. That is correct.
And is your client 14F?
Yeah, he's the one turning around talking right now on the screen. No, that's not my client. But no, wait a second. You know, I think it is my client. I think he had his mask up at first, so I didn't see his mustache.
Are you Phillip Villarreal?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I didn't see his mustache.
All right.
Okay.
Brenda, remind me not to call some people for identification. You know, if something's happening and they ask them for identification, who did you see? Remind me not to call everybody. Cleophas, I'm in that same boat. Don't call me.
He didn't have he had his face mask on, so I didn't see the mustache.
All right, that's a good excuse.
We've last seen him.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 1000, State of Texas versus Phillip Jeremy Villarreal. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Cleophas Marshall for the defense.
And are you Mr. Villarreal?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding with this sentencing by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None.
Any objections from the defense?
No, we've signed the waiver, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Villarreal, do you have any objections to us proceeding by video due to the pandemic?
No, ma'am.
All right. A plea bargain was entered on May 24th. However, the defendant did not show for sentencing. According to that plea bargain agreement, the agreement was to be 5 years in the prison. However, the defendant would be subject to the full range of punishment if he did not appear, and the defendant did not appear. It's my understanding from the court, and the court is in receipt of a new plea bargain agreement. Mr. Villarreal, I'm going to show you the addendum to the plea bargain agreement. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the addendum to the plea bargain agreement, the state is again proceeding on count 2. This time they're asking that your punishment be assessed at 7 years in the prison, and they're going to take in consideration 2021 CR 099 and NIBAG number 626455. Did you understand that to be your plea bargain agreement, Mr. Villarreal?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the new plea bargain agreement?
Yeah, yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that the new plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
And are both parties ready to proceed with that addendum to the plea bargain agreement, state and defense?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Marshall, is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I did have an opportunity to talk with my client, and he is in agreement with the new plea bargain that's on the addendum. I will let the court know that his younger 2 children, I believe he said, are 5 or 7 years old, or at least under 10 years old. They both had tested positive for COVID-19. they picked it up on the playground. And so that was what was going on when he failed to show at the last sentencing. He does know that he still should have contacted myself and or the court, and maybe we could have avoided this situation. Obviously, he picked up a new case as well, so that's not a good thing. He understands that, but he was very compliant when he picked up that new case. I talked a little with Mr. Sanders and also my client, and we agreed to do the 7 years TDC. We're asking that the court would assess that as the punishment and then dismiss the other two cases.
All right. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 7 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2021 CR 0999, night mag number 626455. Mr. Villarreal, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because it's a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll go off the record. Mr. Villarreal, good luck to you. You're going to have to start doing better. If you have young children,
Yes,
you gotta
ma'am. I
ask yourself,
understand.
how do you want them to grow up, right? All right, good luck to you. Number
Thank you.
14F can go back.
Thank you.
I'd be excused.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Marcus.
welcome. All right, Abel Dominguez.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm back from the breakout room. I spoke with Meredith. To be honest, we're kind of at an impasse. She has been in contact with she's tried to get in contact with one of the DAs there in Valverde. She spoke with that DA one time, left a message again 2 weeks ago, hasn't heard back. So she left a message this morning for the same DA. She has CC'd the DA's contact information to myself, so I can try to start getting a hold of her and see what's going on.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. Mr. Dominguez, we're going to come back at 2 o'clock, see if you can get in touch with the prosecutor in that other county.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right. Norma, can you let them know Ms. Sanchez, if we can have her back at 2 p.m., please?
Yes, sir.
And she is L20. Ms. Sanchez, we're going to see if we can figure this out.
Okay, may I be excused and come back at 2, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Leo Gonzalez.
Judge, can I get a breakout room with my client to go over the paperwork real quick? We're just about done.
Yes. What breakout room are you currently in?
I think I was in 11.
All right, so it can pop up for your client. I'm going to send you both to number 12.
Okay.
All right, Denny Callahan.
Your Honor, I was been in there about 40 minutes. Nobody came to see me.
Oh, wow, that's a long time to be in the doctor's room waiting for a blood pressure check. All right, I'm going to send you to number 3. If there's a prosecutor available from Criminal Trial Division to speak with Denny Callahan on Flores, he's in breakout room number 3.
Thank you.
All right. Jacqueline Lamerson, who do you have? And then I'm going to take up David Woodard.
Good morning. I've got an MTR on Jordan Diaz.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal trial.
I'll send you to number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. David Woodard.
Morning, Judge. I had Christopher White. I've conferred with Meredith. I've relayed the plea offer to Mr. White, and we'd like to know if we can have a plea deadline date.
Okay, Christopher White.
It should be Criminal Trial Division.
Okay, I think your client is maybe still in a breakout room potentially. I don't see him on the Zoom. Let me see.
If it is, Judge, he's probably in room 15.
Yes.
Hey, David, do you think I could talk to you real quick about it before you log off?
Talk to me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have another case on your docket anyway, so I'm here for the long haul.
Oh, okay. I'll put you in a breakout room.
Okay.
All right. So on Christopher White, have you received all the discovery?
I believe so, Judge.
And an offer has been tendered?
Yes, ma'am.
Norma, can I have a 30-day reset on Christopher Wright?
October 13th.
All right, Mr. White, we're going to come back on October 13th. That's going to be your plea deadline date. What that means is if you decide to accept a plea agreement from the state, then that is the final day for you to do that. If you are not going to accept a plea from the state on that date, then what will end up happening, you'll be set for jury trial. And if you decide to take a plea at some other date, the court will only consider pleas open to the court. Do you understand? All right, thank you, Mr. White. You're excused. Let me see.
Your Honor, was I supposed to go to that breakout room or was she supposed?
Who's speaking?
And Judge, this is Jason Nitz. We're ready to go forward on Jesus Villarreal. I believe you have the paperwork.
All right, as soon as I have the paperwork, then we'll proceed. I don't have the paperwork yet. So once I get the clerks bring that to me, we'll proceed on your case.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And Mark Darling, as soon as we get the paperwork, we will go forward.
Thank you, Judge. I'm still waiting for it myself.
Okay. Well, it's nice that everyone has patience in their pocket.
What choice do we have?
I mean, you know, you can make it a Monday or you could just be happy that it's a Wednesday.
And I am. You know, I waited 2 hours just to withdraw from a civil case from 8:30 to 10:30. I shouldn't be telling you that because I know criminal has precedence, but I'm being honest with you. But literally 2 hours to get through the docket just to call someone in the hall. Anyway, but I'll be right back. I'm waiting for the paperwork.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for your honesty. All right, on this one, there's one more thing to print off. Yes, it's the signature sheet from the state. Well, the email. Yes, thank you. Oh, let me give this to you. Have we done Jesus? All right, who are the parties on Jesus Villarreal?
Jason, that's your defendant, and I believe Hunter is on the other side.
Okay, we are ready to proceed on that if everyone's ready.
Hunter is in here, but if Jason, you'll chat me what's going on.
All right, and Jason Nitz, I need your video.
Sorry, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2016 CR 4502W, State of Texas versus Jesus Villarreal. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Jason Nitz.
Are you Jesus Villarreal?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections.
Mr. Villarreal, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video conference. I'm going to show you two documents. One is entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. The other is State's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Jesus Villarreal III who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2016, CR 4502W, for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on June 6, 2016, for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas, and this is from the supplement, motion supplement. Condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Jesus Villarreal III did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of February, March, and April 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
We'll waive the
State?
rest.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Villarreal, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge, there is. We're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate and revoke, and sentence him to 180 days in the state jail.
Is that the agreement, Mr. Nitz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Villarreal, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Villarreal, why did you not complete your probation?
Upon my release date, COVID was just starting. I lost my job and lost my house with my girlfriend. So I was bouncing around. I started living with my father in Victoria, Texas. So it was very complicated for me to come back to San Antonio to do my UAs. And it was a lot of things going on with my personal health as well. That's why I was not trying to put my life at risk with COVID.
So what does that have to do with picking up the phone, calling somebody?
I was aware that my probation was revoked for not doing UAs, but I do remember not contacting her after that, confirming with her that I cannot put myself in health, and she told me that I was going to be MTR.
No, I mean, why didn't you pick up the phone? That still doesn't explain you not picking up the phone, calling somebody.
I lost my job. I couldn't pay for my phone, and I was bouncing from house to house. I literally only had other people's phones, and the phone that I had her number on, I lost everything. I still don't have a lot of things that I
Okay,
had.
why do young people pretend like they don't know how to Google? For everyone here who's on probation, if you Google and you say Bexar County Probation Office, the general number will come up. And if it's important to you, everybody, you should treat it like it's important. So you should know your
Yes, ma'am.
probation's officer's name. I'm always shocked when people don't know the name of their attorneys. I mean, is this not important? Is this not serious? I'm going to follow your plea bargain agreement, Mr. Villarreal, but
Thank you, Judge.
I'm going to tell you, if you don't straighten up, you're going to find yourself spending a majority of your time at Bexar County jails, at prisons. How old are you?
I'm 29 years old, ma'am.
Time goes by quickly. You're going to look up and see that you've thrown away 10 years of your life before you know it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you very much, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm going to follow your agreement. I'm going to find you guilty, not grant you community supervision. I'm going to sentence you to 180 days in the state jail facility, and then I'll give you credit for any time served.
And can we note on there, time served is 178.
All right, then the clerks will have that. If you've been in jail for 178 days, you'll get 178 days. But let me explain something to you. They may still transfer you to the state jail facility. to process you and then release you from there. Some people, they don't
Yes,
do
ma'am.
that too, but some people they do. So that's not under my purview. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I concur.
I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we will close the record. Norma, can you let them know that L8 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Nitz, unless you have something else with us, you are excused.
Thank you very much.
And the attorney on Fabian Rocha Jr., the court has signed the document, and the prosecutor, Joe Ray, or as you say, JR, he sent notice that he's in agreement.
Okay, thank you very much, Judge. I appreciate your time today.
All right, you're welcome. Have a great rest of your day. It's Wednesday.
too.
Half the
Thank
week
you.
is gone. All right, thank you.
I was down there.
All right, Jacqueline Lamerson, you said your client never joined you in the breakout room?
That's correct, Judge.
Let me
I
find
tried-
Mr. Jazz.
I tried to tell you that you just put me on mute.
I didn't put you on mute.
Well, somebody,
Yes.
my bad, Judge, somebody put me on mute.
Yes. All right, I'm sending you number 5, and you need to go to breakout room number 5, Mr. Diaz.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
All right, David Woodard.
Morning, Judge. We had Victoria Maldonado. It was a motion to set bond. I've conferred with Meredith, and we have an agreement to set the bond at $20,000.
All right, if you all will,
I can send you an email, Judge. I think there's he did file a motion. There should be an order.
yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's okay, Meredith. I'll just put agreed on it.
Okay.
And what are you agreeing to set the bond at?
$20,000.
Wait, 20 what?
20.
Okay.
20,000.
I thought you said 21,000.
Oh.
That's an odd number.
Not to be confused with $1, Judge.
Yes. Or the guy who wants to, I want my $2. I know some people will not get that reference. Where is Jordan Brown? All right, so what is happening with your client, Victoria Maldonado? She has 3 cases with us.
That's correct, Judge. This morning, it was only set for a motion to set bond, but we have a plea deadline date for September 30th. So we're
Yes.
coming back on the 30th.
All right, we'll see you then.
Thanks,
Miss-
Judge.
You're welcome, Miss Maldonado. Can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date is September 30th.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you do not show up, either in person or by Zoom, what's going to end up happening is there's going to be another warrant issue. You understand?
I do understand that, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank
And
you.
what is that tattoo you have? Was
It
that
says-
painful?
It says blessed.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Be blessed. All right. Norma, let them know that L29 can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anyone else ready? Yes, Sunny Middleton.
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to need some more time. We don't have all of the discovery yet, so he can't make an offer. And I'm not sure how the court would handle it, but my client supposedly bonded out, but he has a parole hold. So however we can ask you to increase his bond, because he's not getting any credit for these 2 cases.
All right. Let's start with this. Who's the prosecutor you were conferring with?
Hunter.
All right. And did he give you a time frame on how much time she?
He's waiting for supplemental reports. There's a lot of victims, and he has no victim statements.
Okay,
Hey,
so
Judge, I emailed intake to see this case is 2-3 weeks old, and it's a small agency. So I imagine with the volume of items they recovered and the nature of the items, it would probably take at least a few weeks for them to get a supplemental. But I emailed intake to see if we can go ahead and follow up and move it along because of the parole hold.
All right, thank you. So what we'll do, Ms. Middleton, then we don't have pre-hearings unless they're requested or something happens. So I won't put this back on the docket. If you want it to be placed on the docket, then just let the court know.
Yes, ma'am.
Or either Hunter, if you find out a set date when all the discovery is in and you all want it on the docket, just let the court know. We'll put it on the docket.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Ms. Middleton, if you'll file an order asking me to increase the bond, I'll increase it. But what I can tell you, if someone has been sitting in jail, even though they made bond, I will give them credit because I know that they haven't been released.
Okay, then we'll just leave it there. Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Right. Yes.
And Mr. Schilling is, I guess, needs to be sent back too.
All right, let me see which room he is in. Norma, can you let them know that 16B is excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. All right, anyone else ready?
Judge, we're ready on Charlie Perkins.
All right, what is happening on Perkins?
We have one witness, Judge, should be brief. We're asking for a bond.
Okay, is there a prosecutor available on Charlie Perkins' motion to set bond?
Judge, I haven't seen the motion yet, so if I could have a few minutes to look at it.
Okay, sure. He's on deferred adjudication. So I don't know if you all want to confer on a bond amount.
I think he conferred with Tom at the last setting.
I did yesterday, Judge. He was unwilling at that point to recommend the bond.
Okay. So, well, let me know, state when you're ready and we'll take it up. Just give us a moment, Mr. Ramos. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, ma'am.
Jacqueline Lamerson on Jordan Diaz.
May I quickly speak to a CTD prosecutor?
Okay. I'll send you to breakout room number 4 and a prosecutor will meet you there.
Judge, am I excused?
Mr. Cordova, who was your attorney?
Mr. Reynolds?
I'm sorry, who?
Mr. Eric Reynolds?
Yes, you are excused. Norma, can you let them know that 14L can go back?
I'm done.
Thank you.
All right, did Vincent Callahan, oh, he's waiting. Has a prosecutor talked to Vincent Callahan in breakout room number 3 on Amanda Flores? It's an arson case. And the issue here is restitution. So that's why it's listed as a summons.
Which room, Judge?
He is in breakout room number 3.
I'll go talk to him.
Thank you.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
All right, thank you. Okay, thanks.
Okay, Judge, I am ready.
Yes.
Court's ready.
Okay. Thank you. We were doing so well. Hello. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 8537C, State of Texas versus Charlie Perkins. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Fernando Ramos.
And are you Mr. Perkins? You need to unmute.
Hey, sir.
Mr. Perkins, have a seat.
Can you hear me? Someone unmute the thing?
You've been on. It's unmuted, Mr. Perkins.
Oh, sorry about that.
Are you Charlie Perkins?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
None, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Perkins, do you have any objections with us proceeding by video?
No, ma'am, not at all.
All right, we're here on a motion to set bond. The defendant is entitled to a bond on this deferred adjudication. It's the court's understanding that there is not an agreement on the amount of bond to be set. Defense, it's your motion.
Thank you, Judge. We call one witness, Tina Williams, present in the courtroom.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right,
I
Ms.
am.
Williams, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand if you can state your name for the record, please.
Tina Williams.
All right, defense?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Ms. Williams, what is your profession or occupation?
I'm a phlebotomist.
And what is your relationship to Charlie Perkins?
I'm his mother.
How old is Charlie?
Charlie is 19.
And you understand he's on probation for robbery and has new allegations and new charges. You understand all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And during the time that he has been on probation, he has been in your household, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And during this time, when he's been on probation, has he been working?
Yes, he was working.
And does Charlie have any children?
Yes, he does. He has two.
And as my understanding, they are presently in your custody, is that correct?
They're here at my household, yes.
Yes. And if the judge granted a bond in this case, which she doesn't have to, but if she did, would you be able to make sure that Charlie follows all the conditions of probation? Mute yourself, Charlie. Would you be able
Hello,
to,
1 second. Hello? Yes,
Ms. Williams, can you hear me?
yes. I can barely hear you, but yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. And would you be able to make sure that Charlie follows all of the conditions of probation if the judge grants a bond?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Would you be able to make sure that Charlie follows all of the conditions of the bond if the judge sets?
Yes, sir. I sure can.
And has he been calling to your home on a repeated basis?
Will he be going to my home, you said?
Has he
Yes, he will be.
communicated with you while he's been in jail?
Yes, he has.
Do you see a change in attitude from what they call jail therapy?
I'm sorry. Can
Have
you
you
give
seen
me
a
just 1 second?
change
I'm
in his
trying to
attitude?
put the speaker on because I can't hear that well.
Have you seen a change in his attitude since he's been
Yes,
in
ma'am, I
jail?
have.
Next question.
Yes, he has.
And do you have a plan to move, when appropriate, to move Charlie to another location outside of San Antonio?
Yes, I do.
Pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right, state. You're on mute.
Thank you. Ms. Williams, where was Mr. Perkins working at before he was taken into custody?
All right, it's obvious to the court that she can't hear. So does someone want to make sure that everything's adjusted for her, or either she can come to the courtroom today at 2?
It seems like she has a bad connection.
What was that? Can you
Judge.
repeat it again?
She's asking.
Fernando, do you want to speak to her?
All right.
Hello? Hello?
All right.
Ms. Williams,
Yes. Hello?
Ms. Williams, one moment. Judge, would you like us to continue or?
No, just ask your next question.
Ms. Williams, where was Mr. Perkins working at before he was incarcerated?
He was working at a warehouse.
Doing what?
He was doing, it was for the noodles company. I'm not too for sure exactly what he was doing, but for
How
the
long-
top ramen noodles.
Okay, how long has he lived with you?
He's lived with me all his life.
Okay, so was he living with you when he committed the offense that he's on deferred for right now?
Yes.
When he committed the robbery?
Yes. Well, he was back and forth at his girlfriend's house, but his primary address is with me.
Okay, and were you here when he was sentenced and placed on deferred adjudication?
I was not in the court, no.
Okay, were you aware of it though?
Yes, I was.
Are you aware of the range of punishment for his case?
Yes.
How old is Mr. Perkins?
He's 19.
And are you aware of why he is currently in custody?
Yes, I believe because he provoked his probation.
Okay, what did he do? Are you aware of the new offenses that he picked up?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you're not aware that he was arrested on 3 different charges?
Somewhat, not really. I'm not too for sure.
Okay, so he was arrested for possession with intent to deliver a PG-1, possession of marijuana, and a UCW. Were you aware of that?
Now I am, yes.
Were you aware that he was hanging out with known drug dealers?
No, I was not.
So I guess the question is he's been with you this entire time, including before he was placed on deferred. Why would things be different now when he continues to pick up offenses while living with you?
Well, I would like to move him out of San Antonio to get him away from those people so that he won't be doing the same thing. I think he understands that that is that is a bad influence on him and he will change. As long as I can get him out of that situation, or even if I can't, if he could still continue to work, he can continue to make money to support the children.
And do you plan to move him to?
I want to move him to Houston. Well, it's a little town, Katy, Texas, which is right outside of Houston.
Do you have family or contact there?
No, I don't.
So who would he be living with in Houston or Katy?
I would try to get him his own place. Or with his girlfriend, they would stay together because of the children.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Williams. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, if there's
Thank you.
nothing else, any redirect,
have-
Ms. Ramos?
No, Judge. That's all we have.
All right, thank you. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to set his bond at $35,000, full GPS, waive fees, place on deferred fee status or the indigent list. There's to be weekly Zoom reporting to probation. And this case is set for a contested hearing on October 20th. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state.
Judge, just to make note, the cases involved, and all due respect to Mr. Sanders, he has not read the reports. I don't see any search warrant. There was observations of drug dealing, but there were no drugs found on.
Okay,
Mr.
all right.
Perkins.
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Ramos. That's something that you'll need to discuss with the state. If you
Understood.
have all the discovery by October 20th, then that's when the contested hearing will take place. As when you were here last on September 1st for this motion to revoke, my order was the contested hearing is to take place on October 20th if discovery is available. And if the defendant was released on bond, the defendant was to report weekly by Zoom to a further notice. So on the bond hearing, I'm setting his bond at $35,000. He's going to be on full GPS. The court will ask that those fees be waived, deferred, or he be placed on the indigent status list. And he's to have weekly Zoom reporting to probation.
One last thing, Your Honor.
Yes.
Would the court entertain his ability to go look for work?
No.
Okay.
All right. Norma, can you let them know that 13A can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's all I have,
right.
Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ramos. Thanks for your patience.
Thank
Who are
you,
the
Judge.
parties on Adriana Ayala?
Emmanuel Rodriguez for the defense.
Who is the prosecutor?
It was me, Judge David Martin for the state, a computer.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 10020, State of Texas versus Adriana Ayala. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
David Martin.
for the defense?
Emmanuel Rodriguez, Judge.
And are you Miss Ayala?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
None.
Ms. Ayala, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I understood it. Yes, ma'am, I signed it.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have, and we reviewed it together, yes.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Ayala, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're just going to proceed on the assault family second. We're going to waive the enhancement paragraphs.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
Ms. Ayala, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney?
Yes, I did.
Everyone, just give me one moment. Norma, I'm going to send you a chat.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Brenda, we're getting that. Brenda, do you need to take a break?
I'm okay.
All right. If you need to take a break, just let me know. All right, did you understand what you're charged with is assault, bodily injury, family second offense? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
I do understand. Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Is one of my options probation?
We're not at that part yet. Right now,
Okay.
I'm just telling you what your rights are.
Yes, ma'am.
So did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, she has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Ms. Ayala, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. To the clerks, if you could go to breakout room number 2, please. Back on the record, Ms. Ayala, I'm going to show you what's entitled plea bargain agreement page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I agree. Yes, I understand it.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is waiving the enhancement allegations. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 2 years in prison. The state will make no recommendation to your application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, the BIPP course, $100 to an approved family violence center. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am. We discussed it and I understood it and I signed
Do you
it.
understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, there have not, Judge.
Then, Ms. Ayala, to the offense is charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
We do, Judge. We're after states 1 with the attachments, and I'm also going to email the court and Mr. Rodriguez states number 2, which is the prior misdemeanor the Adobe sign didn't have enough room to put that on there for some reason. I'm gonna send that.
Could you please send that to the clerks, because include the clerks at least in the email, because you know I have no ink.
Okay. I think I did, but yes, I put Lupe on it also.
All right, defense, are you in receipt of State's Exhibit number 2?
I'm still waiting, Judge.
Okay.
We have no objections to states number 1, which we've reviewed.
All right. All right, states number 2, it appears to be an assault case. The cause number is 430559.
If that's all it is, Judge, we know about it. I've reviewed that with my client and we have no objection.
And for the record, it shows where she was placed on probation for that offense. Then state's exhibit number 2 will be admitted into evidence as well. Ms. Ayala, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, police reports, and judgments, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and as previously stated, the court accepted into evidence states exhibit number 2 without objections, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing, or would you request a PSI, Mr. Rodriguez?
We've applied for regular probation, so my client would certainly like to get started with that today, Judge, if possible.
Well, the state is silent. So does the court wish to, does the defense wish to have a PSI or have the court to take evidence?
Well, we wouldn't mind if this was the plan, Judge, was to ask for a PSI and request a PR bond in the interim. And so that my client can be released, show up to her appointments, and then present her side of the case in person at a sentencing hearing.
All right. The court is not going to grant a PR bond on this case. Is there any other, how much is your client's bond?
This was a situation, Judge, if you recall, my client thinks that she had paid money to her bond company. It's her understanding that there was a surety in place, and it's her understanding as well from her bond company that it was just waiting for the court's approval.
Okay, I will have the clerks pull that, and we'll see what's up with that. If it is, as she assumes, then the court will of course sign the affidavit to reinstate surety, but I am going to issue a no contact order.
That is not a problem, Judge.
All right, so there's to be, and I'll note for the record that the court will sign the affidavit to reinstate surety. And there's to be no contact. With Cesar Rodriguez.
Okay.
4138 Green Lawn. Norma, what's the date for us to have a sentencing on this case, please?
Judge, I'm sorry, did you say he,
Yes, we need a sentencing date. She needs a PSI.
Judge, can you hear me? I'm sorry, my computer is October 11th.
All right, so we're going to come back on October 11th at 9 a.m. Miss Ayala, if
Yes,
you are released, then you will need to appear in the 187 District Court at 9 a.m. on October 11th. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room so probation can go over what they will need and expect from you. And
Yes, ma'am.
Rebecca, I'm going to need a TAP evaluation as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so if you all can go to breakout room number 1, and then Mr. Rodriguez, you and your client will be excused.
Thank you very much, Judge. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you. You too. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And everyone, we're going to take our afternoon break. The court reporter needs a break. We will be back at 2 o'clock. Everyone, I appreciate all your patience. And if you have all your paperwork done, the clerks will swear in your client and we will take you up first thing at 2. So whomever is here first at 2, you will be able to immediately go at 2. And let me
Judge, may I
stop.
just give you a quick update?
Yes.
Because on Irene Gonzalez, we do have a plea agreement now.
Okay.
And she does, and I've already talked to her, she wants to do it, but I can't do it this afternoon, Judge. I was hoping you would let us come back. She's in custody. I was hoping you'd let us come back and do it on Friday morning.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, are we able to come back on Friday for Irene Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll come back on Friday.
Thank you so much, Judge. I appreciate that.
Thank you. You're welcome. Everyone else, I'll see you back. We're going to stop live stream and I'll see you back at 2. And if you could just please remain and make sure your client is sworn in. If they are, we'll take you exactly at 2 if you're first in.